Come on, guys.
Right.
First show 2 years. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, we just have those butterflies in the stomach.
You have this butterfly, right?
I think it's because I ate something.
Yeah.
No, it's really exciting.
Come
Really
on.
exciting to be back on the road, guys, for this Christmas show. Stay tuned. There's a lot to come here in the UK.
Yeah.
After this,
I love shows.
Portugal, back to Spain.
And Portugal.
What are we doing after that? After New Year?
And then we go to Florida.
Yeah, and then we go to.
But next
Motown
going to be the Motown show.
We can't talk about the Motown yet.
Yeah,
But
we're
you're
not
coming.
talking about that.
Ain't no mountain.
Yeah.
See you soon. Stay tuned.
Singer Carlos Marín has died, according to the remaining members of his vocal group Il Divo, who announced their friend's death on Sunday via their website.
En Reino Unido, pero solo pudieron completar 5 actuaciones. Es la última imagen de Carlos Marín, corresponde a...
Carlos Marín, the singer from the classical group Il Divo, has died at the age of 53. It's reported that he was taken to hospital in Manchester recently.
A week prior, the crossover vocal group announced they were postponing their 2021 Christmas tour until December of next year due to an ongoing illness. They were originally put together by Simon Cowell, who wrote in part on Twitter that he is devastated by the loss. In addition to his work with the group, German-born Marín also had a career as an operatic soloist.
Hi everybody, I'm Sebastian from Il Divo, and I'm here in Santa Barbara in my house in California. Beautiful sunshine today. So we are about to kick up the new tour in a few days. We're about to meet in Tampa, where we're going to be rehearsing our new show, the three of us with our special guest. So with Urs, David and I, and our special guest, Stephen LaBrie.
Hi there. This is David from Il Divo, and I am currently at home preparing to head back out on the road down to Florida to start our greatest hits tour, which is going to be a celebration of the life of Carlos Marín.
Hello everybody, it's Urs here from Il Divo. I'm home here in Andorra, in my house, just for a couple more days actually, because this Saturday we're traveling out to Florida and we're gonna start rehearsing for our brand new show. Very excited to be finally going on tour again.
In the last couple of years, it has just been such a difficult and challenging time for everyone around the world. A pandemic happening.
And then last year, 2021, in December, we finally were supposed to go on tour again in the UK, do Christmas shows. And we actually traveled out end of November, did some rehearsals in London, and we started the first few shows.
The way that I felt then was super excited to go on the road, find my brothers / colleagues, however we like to call each other, depending on the day, and singing, to an audience, because we have missed performing. That's what we love doing, and having that opportunity to go back out, the four of us, was fantastic. And I think we've had this energy where we were really hungry for going on stage, reconnecting, because after all, that is what life is about. It's about connection.
And then something very sad, very dramatic happened. Carlos Marín got hospitalized after, I think, about the third show. And he was in the hospital for about 10 days. He was diagnosed with COVID, Delta, and he passed away about 10 days later.
Carlos's death, was a shock, a complete shock. Then I got isolated myself for 15 days because I also had COVID. This was a very traumatic time that I'm still grieving and going through.
And that was obviously devastating to the three of us remaining El Divos, and to everybody else, the fans, and everybody. It was really world news. And we were totally in shock at first. And especially because, yeah, literally, I mean, if I speak really personally, I myself, I was obviously shocked when Carlos got hospitalized. And I was, as I said, I think it was on December 8th. But I thought, okay, you know, he's gonna get in good care, you know, they'll take care of him. He'll probably suffer, you know, he'll probably will look at a long recovery period, but never in my worst nightmares I would have thought he would pass away from this and we would lose him.
The idea of going out on tour without Carlos is, it's a scary prospect. Carlos was one of the original members. We all, you know, Carlos, Seb, Urs and myself, we were all the original members for 17 years. And we became like a family. We became like brothers, like more than, I've said this before in other things, that there's not really a word, I don't think we have a word in the English language for kind of the nature of how close we were. Nobody spends as much time together as we did for those 17 years. And so to have, you know, one of the pillars of the group be missing, it just feels hollow or empty, or it feels like it's missing an integral piece.
And, you know, I'm feeling a lot of emotions and just kind of feel like I'm gonna get to see Carlos in a few days, but I'm not, so yeah, it's I've got some mixed emotions about going back out, and but also really excited to, I wouldn't say excited, I'm actually looking forward to do some healing with our fans, with the guys, and go on tour and celebrate. I don't know if celebrate is the right word, but remembering Carlos's art and how important it was in our life.
We did not know what to do at first, obviously, when Carlos passed so suddenly and unexpectedly. You know, first of all, we obviously thought, I personally thought, this might be the end of El Divo, because El Divo's been going for 18 years with the same 4 members always. Carlos has obviously been very crucial. Just like everybody else, you know, El Divo's always been the 4 of us, which somehow created a very special magic. Carlos, with his big, strong voice, normally taking the end choruses in the songs with the big endings, you know. I guess that was kind of one of the signatures of El Divo. And losing him, yeah, I really thought at first, that's it, you know. El Divo's over.
Carlos's death in so many levels. I mean, it's affecting me just now, just talking about it, and I was trying to hold up my tears. It's really hard, like really incredibly hard. I still think I'm gonna go back out, and we're gonna meet in 3 days. And it was a joke, and he's going to be here with us, and this was just a bad dream. So I think it's just going to be one day at a time for me, a minute at a time. You know, when I can't predict the future. I don't know what it's going to be. What I know is how it is for me now. I can't even listen to his voice. I can't even listen to rehearsals. I didn't even work the song. There's so much resistance in me to I don't know, guys. I don't know.
I don't remember really exactly. Maybe I just blocked it out, but I don't really remember what happened then, you know, in my mind, in the other guys' minds. We were obviously talking after that shocking experience. We were in contact all the time, and we were discussing what are our options, and not only the options, what is reasonable, what is sensible, what is ethic to do now. And the fact is that we did get a lot of support from fans all around the world very soon after Carlos's funeral, that they would wish Il Divo to go on, because they did always enjoy the music and the live concerts very much. And I guess that kind of gave a tip the scale for us. You know, that kind of gave us the power to decide that continuing on was the right thing to do.
When Urs, David, and Seb called me and asked me to direct this new tour, I was still shocked from Carlos's passing. But I felt that doing a show in his honor, doing a special tribute to the life and music and art of Carlos, was the right thing to do, in an effort to come to terms with his passing and to say goodbye properly on stage. So it was very hard to bring a set list, to write, and to think of all the things that Carlos had left us, his art and his life in the band and personally. So it was, in a way, I am very thankful for the boys to call me and give me this opportunity to do this for Carlos and his memory.
When we first started trying to pick up the pieces of Carlos passing, we had no idea what we were going to do, how we were going to do this.
Because really, I say that often, what would Carlos want if one of us was not here anymore? I believe he would want us to continue. I often use that word, that show must go on. It is something that he used to sing and used to say in his life.
We thought, could we do this just as a trio? And the answer was very clearly no.
From a musical point of view, from a sound point of view, having that baritone voice in our arrangements, I think was a very important factor.
The keys were picked for Carlos's voice. He was like the to have a baritone in the mix was the thing that really was like the heavyweight, and really brought the final choruses of all the songs home. So, the three of us trying to do that, our voices don't have that weight. We don't have that quality in our voices. There was no way we could try and rearrange these songs. It just wouldn't work. So we had to bring someone in.
After a lot of discussions internally as well, we decided that we needed to go out and look for a baritone, for somebody who could vocally fill that void that Carlos had left behind with his passing. And we were very lucky that David knew a certain American baritone named LaBrie. He had worked with him prior on several occasions.
I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Stephen at the St. Bart's Music Festival, and we performed. He performed with me and with my wife Sarah Joy, and once we all left St. Bart's, we kept in touch, and And then I've been working on my solo opera album for the last however long. And at a certain point, I thought it would be really interesting to have a duet on the album. And the first person I thought of was Steven. And so he came in and just knocked it out of the park. And that was a couple of years ago. So we asked him, we sent him a few of the tracks, like Regresa and My Way and other things. And we said, you know, can we hear what your voice sounds like on these pop songs? And he sent back an a cappella version of himself singing the final chorus, and it just made sense to my ears. So I played it to the other guys, and it made sense to their ears, and we thought, all right, so how do we get this ball really rolling? So at a certain point, he came up to my house up here to kind of workshop the songs, and we actually had a whole setup in the living room where I had set up my computer to run through a speaker and set up a handheld mic to run through a little guitar amp so that he could kind of simulate what it feels like to be on a stage with amplification, because again, that's just not something that opera singers do. But it clicked. He got it. It made sense to him, and in listening back to him singing with our voices and in that repertoire, it just became clear that he was the right pick. And so we asked him to be part of the show and to be our special guest and to assist us in this crazy time we're trying to go through. And he said yes.
I'm Stephen LaBrie. Currently I'm in New York, and I'm about to be going to Tampa for rehearsals with Il Divo for a week before we start our run. I have honestly no idea what to expect at this point. I've been to a couple of Il Divo concerts, and I know the fans are very enthusiastic, which is something that I absolutely love. I think it's going to be really exciting. Carlos Marín is beloved by so many people. Many people have reached out to me since the announcement that I was going on tour with mixed emotions. You know, there have been a lot of people who have been supportive. There have been some people who have been upset. There have been people who are supportive and also upset. But the truth is, Carlos made his mark. He is an incredible singer. He's a legend. He is someone who has touched many people's lives. There are many people who reached out to me and said that they felt connected to Carlos on a deep level, even though not knowing him, just through his singing, through his music and his personality. Stepping into this, singing his part and kind of, stepping into this role is interesting. We're not the same person in any way. We don't have the same voice. We don't have the same personality. We're very different people. So I just want to come into it as myself, come into it as, I think that the guys saw something in me, in my singing and my personality that they thought was special enough to bring to them and to the group at this hard time. And, I'm sensitive to everyone's feelings about this. And also it's not easy, it's not easy for me either. It's difficult to kind of wrap my mind around it. So in kind of blocking out all of the noise, the main focus for me is singing well, bringing music to everyone, and, just having a good time.
I'm excited about that, to keep the legacy. And I'm also honored that we had found Steven, who by all means never tried to replace Carlos, doesn't feel like he is Carlos. He was a big fan of Carlos.
People should not compare. This is not going to be the next Carlos Marín. No, this is going to be a different singer who will help us to make our arrangements complete again and make this create this harmony again that we had with the four of us.
Because I don't feel like the three of us can do that alone with our voices. Something will feel like it's always missing. So I like the philosophy of us of not trying to replace somebody, but trying to keep this alive for our fans, for us, and keeping this healing process along the way.
This show helps will help us certainly as director and David Urs and Seb as singers and parts of the group to go through this moment and in a cathartic way, but in a healthy way, to say goodbye to their friend on stage and make the audience part of it. I think this is really special, and I know Carlos would be smiling from where he is.
There's a lot of insecurity here. We don't know how this is all gonna work out. We don't know how the audience will react, because in the end, that's what we depend on. How the audience is gonna take to this new Il Divo.
We don't know what's going to happen going forward from this point, but we do know that things are going to be different. There was no one really like Carlos, and so what he brought energetically to the band, besides vocally, his personality, his sense of humor, it was very unique to Carlos. And so now the calibration is different, the balance point is different, and it will forever remain changed.
And I feel we owe Carlos to keep going and keep the flame alive. I mean, this is 17 years of going on the road together. We spent more time together as we've ever done with our own family somehow. We made a lot of sacrifices, and here we are. What are the choices? Is just to give up, walk away, or, you know, make sure that we keep going. And I have a feeling Carlos is with us all the time, actually. And by going on stage, we honoring him every night.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to what's about to come. Very, very anxious to make that experience. Very anxious to stand on that stage and sing together in this new foursome and try to create magic again.
There's kind of no way to know what to expect, and know, like, I've just kind of given up on trying to figure out what my life is going to be like in this next year. And instead, I'm just going to take it one day at a time and just experience everything as it comes. Because, you know, I'm going to be with people who are super experienced, which is great. And I'll have people who are going to kind of guide me through that as the time comes, and I can ask those questions along the way and kind of absorb it as it's happening. So, yeah, I'm excited to just see what it's like and to get started.
We will kind of take refuge in the music, take refuge in connecting with the audiences, and kind of going through all of this trauma together. And where we come out on the other side is anybody's guess. But I'm hopeful that the new direction will become apparent, and that we will be able to turn that corner together.
Yeah, so just a few days, as I said in the beginning now. We're gonna travel to Florida and start rehearsing. And that'll be the first time that I'll actually meet Steven. The four of us will be in the same room. We'll join our voices, sing together. And that'll gonna be very emotional, I'm sure, very confrontational with the situation that Carlos is not there anymore, but also very exciting to just create new harmony, new magic. I'm very much looking forward to that, very excited about that. Okay. I hope my little chatter away, my little banter got you excited about what there's to come. Please keep checking in. Bye-bye.